In Merlin's swamp, there's kind of this like hidden cave area, and then in the cave there's the secret door, and it's really a peculiar sort of thing. It doesn't really associate itself with any egg, and everyone can get like 40, like almost all the eggs except for one, but then there's this door, and it's really interesting. It seems like you have to get pieces to like fill in all of the cubes in order to get behind the door. And on top of the door there's a picture of a Dominus. Just look up there, like on top of the door is a Dominus. I don't know if this is like a massive red herring, because if it is, then that's not very cool, but I think there's little pieces. Like, look at all the clues. The clues are all pointing to the egg hunt. This door is in here. There might be other doors in other areas, but I think there's basically pieces in each level that you have to find in order to get in here to put in those blocks and unlock the doors. Okay, here are how to find at least 4 of the fragments, and then clues to finding kind of 2 of them. But there's a gate in Merlin's swamp that I told you about yesterday in a video. But the gate, it looks like you need 8 different colored fragments. But the first one here in Hardboiled City, you go to Cap'n Yards, and then from Cap'n Yards, you want to go out there and go in this corner. And first, I'm just gonna get some of these eggs, of course, and then go to the corner in Cap'n Yards, up here above the Egg Society. You can jump up there, and then go back here, and then see that window over there? You can go in that window, jump in that window, and then you will find one of the fragments in there. So that is the fragment in Hardboiled City, or one of them. If you go to Easterbury Canals, go over to the phone booth. There's a phone booth over here. You want to remember where this is, because I think we use this phone booth more than once. So this is the path to the phone booth. You go in there, you type 2586. You do 2586, and then press the green button twice. Not just once, but twice. 2586, and then press the green button twice, and then the whole thing will turn green. See that? Okay, so now one of the fragments appeared over behind in a different location where the well is. So that's the thing is, the other 2 that I'm going to tell you about in the end, I think I know how to make some of the fragments appear, but I don't know if they're actually appearing, you know, so we'll go over those at the end. But yeah, after you do this one, you go around to the corner where you were, and there is that water well thing, and you're going to jump on top of that little water wheel. See on top of that wheel right there how there's a fragment now? It's not there unless you do the phone booth thing. So you go on top of that, and right on the top of this, you will find a fragment. Okay, so that is, well, at least one of the fragments in Easterbury Canals. Let's go to a different level. Wonderland. Now this one's challenging. Go to where the maze is, and in the back of the maze where all the croquet is, see how there's all those cards? You have to get the numbers for all of those cards and add them up. Also, J is 11, the Jack is 11, the Q for Queen is 12, and the King is 13. So if you see those, but see, we've got all sorts of numbers here. Make sure none of them are hiding. You got to go through, double check, make sure you get every single number, and then you add those together. In my case, it was 207, but in your case, it might be a little different. So a lot of these numbers are different, so you can't just use all the numbers. I know the 2586 works in Easterbury Canals, but once you get all those numbers, add them together. I got 207. Convert them to binary. Go search on Google for a decimal to binary converter, and what I had to get was 011001111, and then there is a row of carrots that if you walk on the carrots, you see they go down and up. If it's down, it's 0, and if it's up, it's 1. So I basically go and step on the carrots, so they say 011001111. Okay, so that is the binary code for what I have. So now you have to go to the big carrot in the back. You go back here behind this house, and there's an opening, and back there on top of the carrot, you get a fragment. So that is the Wonderland fragment. That's one of them so far. Now here in the Undernest, this one is really challenging. It took me a lot of attempts, but mostly because it's up in this really, really hard pedestal that it's kind of hard to get to. If you have an umbrella, that seems like the only way to do it. But see that fragment right up there? You may not see it because there's one of these, the really, really small pedal over here. I think you have to jump on that one there in front of me to the left before it'll appear. So then you jump there, and then what you're supposed to do is double jump, glide, and then turn on your umbrella. So it's jump, jump, 1 shift. We found the 5th fragment here in Ruins of Wukong, so when you start out from the spawn, as always, go across the bridge and head over to the temple. Now there's some places that you need to stand. The first place, stand on top of this totem, and you have to stand there for a couple seconds, and then you will hear a chime. It's like ding-ding-ding, And then after you hear that, go to this top step here on the temple, and you want to stand there until you hear that sound as well. Then there's this little hut here with the person next to it with the red shirt. Stand on the very front here where I'm standing, and again, you want to wait for the tone. There's one here around this person as well. This is the location that I stood in where it actually worked. You might have to kind of walk around a little bit before it actually makes the sound, and before you stand in the right spot. And now see this person with the red shirt on right there. As you can see, if I stand in this spot long enough, you'll hear the sound, and boom, see that fragment? The fragment popped up. So this is the 5th fragment. I made a video yesterday showing you guys how to get all the other 4 fragments. So that's 1 fragment from each level. I think we need 3 more in order to open the Dominus gate. So good luck, everybody, and happy hunting. For this 6th piece, you want to start out in Hardboiled City, and you want to teleport over to the Festival of Eggs. So you go up to the top of the buildings. You can just basically ninja jump between 2 buildings and just climb up, and then go to the Festival of Eggs. So you go to this level, you hop in a plane, and then there's basically 4 things that you need to fly through. There's this diving board here, and then see the little space in between. So go through that, and you will hear a little like ring tone, and then the castle. This castle one can be a pain. Like my plane actually wrecked, but I got the tone before my plane fell apart, so I was good. But yeah, flying through that one, just make sure you get your tone, and then you go over to this Easter basket that's swinging, that little ride. Fly through that, you will get a tone as well. And then there's one last little thing. See this big old egg blimp over here? Next to it is this little gazebo. So you want to go through that gazebo, and then you will hear the little ring again. And then after that, all you have to do is go and collect your fragment. So go over to this circus tent over here, and on top you will find your fragment. You just kind of double jump up there, and you will get that little fragment up at the top. And that is the 6th fragment. So far, each fragment has been in a different level. I'm thinking the next 2 might be in Stein's Basement, Return of the Rabbit, Blizzard Valley, or Amor's Lair. I don't know, guys. 2 more to find. Let's do this. Now there's this one here, which is interesting. When you go get the idle egg, you basically have to run the whole map like you would, like you're trying to get it, let the boulder pass you, and then go back and turn around. And in the very beginning of this, there's actually a little spot on the wall to the left that says numbers, and it says where water floats between, ring on this machine. So that reminds me, okay, see, where water flows between, give a ring on this machine. And it gives you a number. I got 24872. So obviously where water flows between is Easterbury Canals, and a ring on this machine. So that phone booth that we used in Easterbury Canals, I think, has something to do with this. So what we need to do is, I'll show you guys. We go over there, we enter this number in the phone booth. You will have a totally different number. You won't have the same number that I have. It seems like it's different for different people. So if we go to Easterbury Canals and we go up to that phone booth and we enter it and we press the green button twice again, we get another green sign. The thing is, okay, so that person was entering his. So now I'm going to enter this 24872, and then green, and then boom, the thing turned green. But I think I made a fragment show up somewhere, but I have no idea where.